Good morning, world. It's about 7:30 from our lockdown paradise. The sea looks really turbulent today. Wow, is that your first find? We're looking for more sticks for our driftwood Christmas tree. Today you can really see the power of the sea. Look how far in the tide came last night. All of this wood and coconut has been pushed this far up into the beach. I've never seen it come that far in, so close to this tree. Good time to do a bit of trash cleanup as well. Get rid of all this plastic. We've been talking more and more recently about how best to use your time during lockdown, and we both agree with each other. Now is the perfect time to learn something new, whether that's about yourself or whether about what's going on in the world. If you're going to get stuck in one place for a long time, then it makes a lot of sense to use that time on something specific. I remember Sacha and I used to say to each other, what would you do if you were to go to prison for 10, 15 years? And we both used to say to ourselves, if we were able to, we'd want to learn something like to play an instrument or something like that. Being in these forced lockdowns all over the world, when you look around on social media, a lot of people have been doing that, learning how to bake, learning how to do things like grow food, focusing on their health, exercising, that kind of stuff. And it's definitely better to focus on something positive and life-changing rather than just watch the news and counting the death tolls around the world and moaning about stuff. We've been reading a lot in the last 2 years about vaccine science and how it works and how vaccines since the beginning of their inception have worked. There's so much to learn about stuff like that, and we've just been saying to each other, possibly a year and a half could go by before we have something that somebody would want to put inside their body. In that time, what can we do about it? And the answer really is pretty simple. You have to make yourself stronger. You have to work on your own body. And we can do that with the food that we eat, with the amount of sleep that we get. We can do it with exercise and body strengthening, mind strengthening. And Sacha and I both agree that for us, the most important protection against this pandemic is to be the strongest version of ourselves. For example, during this lockdown, we taught Story how to swim by giving her swimming lessons. And now we know that if she was to fall into a swimming pool, she could actually swim for a bit and save herself perhaps. Now we think that is definitely a good use of the time that we've spent. That's a nice song. Yeah, we are on the earth. Why are you cleaning up the beach today?
The sand will get sad.
The sand will get sad? Why would the sand get sad?
Because the fish will eat it.
The fish will eat the sand?
No, the fish will eat the trash.
The trash?
Yeah.
And what is the trash made of?
The trash is made of anything.
Yeah? Like what?
Like plastic, metal.
Yeah? And does plastic biodegrade?
Yeah, it's here to stay.
Yeah, that's right. That means that it doesn't biodegrade.
Food and paper don't biodegrade, so that it's here to stay.
Food and paper.
Yeah. We're still trying to teach Story the differences there. There's a little rhyme. What's the rhyme, Sash?
Food and paper rots away, but plastic and glass is here to stay.
Aha!
That's from one of Story's books.
And that's all about being biodegrading. I guess that's something else that we've been really focusing on since the beginning of this lockdown, is teaching Story about beach cleanups, the earth, biodegradability, why it's important to make sure the earth heals from all of this, because perhaps this pandemic is a way for Mother Nature to cleanse itself of what's going on in the world. By grounding all of our travels, by making movement almost impossible, it has definitely made an impact, a positive impact on the environment, and it has made a lot of people conscious about the way things are done here and just our mortality and vulnerability, you know? As parents to the new generation, we've definitely been thinking about this more and more. I have noticed on the internet a growing trend of people saying that this is it now, this is here to stay. And I'm not talking about the virus being here to stay, I'm talking about the attitude to it. Social contact being pretty much gone forever. Mask wearing is going to be normal forever, so you're never going to see each other's faces, you're not going to be able to have social meetups anymore, and they're accepting that that is going to be life moving forward. But because we have a child of this age and we know that moving forward she's going to be going into that world, I'm trying to keep a more positive outlook for hope that we can have a better human interaction. What's that?
Shell.
A sea urchin shell, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Found it.
I think perhaps if I was already in my older years and I didn't have the next generation to think about, it would be more easier to just kind of give up and say, well, had a good run, this is it now. But that definitely isn't our reality, and I do think that we have to think carefully about what world our children are going to grow up in. We really don't want to program into Story that it's not okay to hug a friend or to be within 6 feet of each other. We hope that the world will begin to improve before that stuff becomes part of her normality. And that is why we are so grateful that this pandemic journey happened to us right here, somewhere where we've been able to avoid the brunt of how bad this really has been for the world. When I think about what this must be like for people that have been stuck in apartments or in shanty towns, crowded cities where there's just been no escape from the intense nature of this situation, it blows my mind, and I'm very grateful for what we've found here. So every day we're beginning to realise that this might not be ending anytime soon. Is that a nice hug? Yeah? You feeling hungry? Would you like to go and get some food? Okay. This was the morning's loot. Sacha's hard work. I didn't pick up anything today, I was just busy vlogging.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I know, I didn't expect to do that this morning.
Yeah, we're supposed to get Christmas stuff.
Yeah, I found one stick and then about 8 flip-flops and loads of broken glass and bottle lids.
Well, these October waves, they're really bringing it in now, aren't they?
Exactly.
So
That's
this is
why
probably...
I thought there might be some good driftwood.
Yeah, perhaps there is further down.
Yeah, all of this was like just from our little frontage bit here.
Alright, we're heading back to our beautiful lockdown reality. Something we can definitely not complain about. Good morning! Okay, I'm just going to dump all of this recycling in our little jungle bin. There is actually a program here on the island called Nature Kids of Siargao, where they've been teaching the local kids about why it's important to clean up where they live and to take care of the environment. That's actually run by Sunny, our friend, the lady who is in charge of the atelier. She really has done some great things for this island, that lady. Another movement that she set up was called the Recycling Art Studio, and you can actually take your collection, your beach trash cleanup, to their centre, and they turn the plastics into new things like pots or art or the filling for the soft furnishings that we made, so you can actually see where your waste is going. And I think that that is brilliant, and these are the kind of things that we're glad we've been focusing on since this lockdown journey began for us in the early days of March. So I guess the message that I'm trying to get across is that you should really be focusing on the positive now, whatever that means for you. For some time already, we've been thinking about what we eat. Even before we were in this situation, consuming less meat or no meat at all was important for us, eating superfoods, and moving forward, we are going to concentrate a little bit more on exercise. I feel like we've slacked a bit in that department over the last few years, and it's difficult to stay positive and focused on those things when everything's been going crazy in the world. It's been a bit of a stressful time, moving country, everything that's been happening. So I feel like that's something we can improve on,
Yes,
and we'll definitely do that moving forward.
Yeah.
What have we got here?
Story's little books. This is my recommendation if you are looking for a children's book about the ocean and things like that. Story's got another one over there. At the moment she's got 2 here. This one, Jay and I actually bought Story at Christmas, and it was left at my mum's house, and my mum has since sent it out here for us. So this is a really lovely book. What's this one, Story?
How we save the ocean.
Good girl.
Okay, and your one was?
Clem and Crab, and I just really love this book, mainly because of the illustrations. I got it off of Amazon UK, and it's just a really lovely book about a little girl who finds a crab, and it's about how she saves the beach that she goes to with her sister by picking up all of the plastic and things like that. And it's just, as you can see, really lovely illustrations, so I recommend that one.
What do you like about that book then?
I like Clem's sister.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What does Clem's sister do?
She reads her book all day.
Yeah, she reads to her. Is it about looking after the sea?
Yeah. She finds an animal and she spies a flash of orange.
What kind of animal is it?
Crab.
A crab?
Yeah. She collected trash.
Yeah?
Yeah.
From where?
From the beach.
So she does her own beach cleanup in the book, yeah?
Yeah, and then they're doing stickies
Oh,
to make a crab.
they make artwork out of what they found on the beach.
Yeah, there's plastic bag in here. See this red plastic bag?
Oh, and is that a good or a bad thing?
Bad.
It's bad for the ocean, isn't it?
This is my other recommendation, Harry Saves the Ocean. We've read this about 4 times this week already. Story really likes this. This is a book that Nanny sent her as a gift, and it's a really nice story as well. It's quite educational. It's about a little mouse who goes on holiday to the beach with his family, and he sees a whale with a plastic bag on his head, and he asks the whale to tell him, why have you got a bag on your head? And he goes around asking all the other sea creatures to help him clean up the beach to save the whales. So it's a really nice idea, and that's where the little rhyme comes from. It's a big job for one, but if we all lend a hand, we'll soon make a difference to the sea and the sand. Your bags and your bottles, your buckets and spades. The trouble with plastics.
They can't biodegrade.
Well done, Story.
Biodegrade, so Harry,
Biodegrade?
explain this to me.
Explain this to me.
What does it mean for you in the sea?
What does it mean for you in the sea?
Well, paper and cardboard and food,
Rot away.
Oh, well
but
done.
plastic won't rot.
Plastic won't rot, so it's here to stay.
Well done. Another high five for that. Well done, Story. That's brilliant learning. So I think that's a good example of how you've got a choice of what you teach your kids, what you teach yourself, what you decide to learn. We could be focusing on all the negatives right now, but we live in an environment where we can see what's happening outside, and we've chosen materials that work with that. None of these books are sponsored by companies or anything. These are choices that we've made, things that we've bought, things that we've collected over the years because we think they're good values for Story to learn. And that was before any of this coronavirus or pandemic was part of our lives.
Yeah, well, this was a Christmas gift for Story when we were still living in Portugal. I found it because we were kind of near the beach there as well, and it was just a lovely thing that I wanted to get. I was looking for those kind of eco books to give a nice message.
Because you're going to read to a child every night anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well focus on something relevant rather than just like fantasy stories and fairy tales, which are nice. But if you've got some options, you can also learn some stuff in a lovely way for a child. And the Story's been doing this since she's like 2.5, 3 years old, when she can understand a lot more. And I'm really starting to see that Story is benefiting from that information now.
It's right for a mouse. It was small and cozy for right for a mouse. Plastic won't rot, so it's here to stay.
Story's enjoying reading down there, so I don't want to disturb her too much with my loud voice. But I did briefly mention in another vlog that any positive changes that you want to make in your life, you can't beat yourself up if you're not doing everything all at once. It is really difficult to make these choices, like being vegan or being zero waste or deciding to clean up an entire ocean. These are huge things, and one person does make a difference, but you got to do things in very small manageable packets, otherwise you would give up. It's important not to look at other people's lives and go, I should be doing this all the time, because all you'll end up doing is giving up. Small changes are the key. That's what I feel anyway. We live in a really beautiful world, and I want it to stay that way for Story. Story is really busy at the moment reading her book, so I'm going to try and do the shout outs by myself, starting with a happy birthday to Claire Nicholas. And this shout out came from your daughter.
Birthday, Claire.
You here to join us for the shout out?
Yeah. Ariel's here. Ariel's here.
So next up, we're wishing Liz Jmayel Lopez a happy birthday today, and you are fondly called Bunso, which means the youngest. So this greeting has come from your Ate Bochers, Gladioli, Pinky, Myrna, Karina, Sam, Portia and Girly. We have a little picture of you here. There you go. Looks like you're all out for lunch.
This is the one with the yellow face mask
This
there.
is Liz. Yeah, happy birthday, Liz.
Lovely, Liz.
And the last shout out we're doing today is another belated one from October 4th. And this is a shout out to Brian Blackwell from your wife Gwen. We are wishing you a very happy wedding anniversary. Hope you had a lovely day celebrating. And the little message here says, "You're the best dumpling, love you dearly."
46 years together.
Yeah, wow,
Amazing,
congratulations. So you are living in Ecuador and you're actually moving to Portugal. So I hope that goes well for you.
Yeah, good choice.
And we have a couple of pictures.
Look at you guys there. 46 years ago.
Amazing. I love looking at old photos. And there you are today.
Lovely.
Happy anniversary, Brian and Gwen.
Yeah,
Go.
excellent. And that was our shout out of the day. Hope you enjoyed the video and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.